Imagine this for a moment. Everything you are hoping for, praying for, longing for has already happened. Not in some far distant future, but right now in a dimension you cannot yet see with your physical eyes. Your desire already exists. Your answered prayer already exists. Your fulfilled life already exists. You are not trying to create it. You are learning how to tune into it. Time, as you have known it, may only be a clever illusion, a way for your mind to process what already is. You have felt this before. Think of a dream that was so real you woke up with your heart racing or with tears in your eyes. In that dream, time felt real, the people felt real, the events felt real. Yet when you woke up, you realized that the whole thing happened within your own awareness. What if your waking life is like that dream, unfolding inside a larger, deeper awareness where every possible outcome already exists? What if future you is not ahead of you, but here, waiting for you to accept it? Inside you there is a quiet voice that has whispered this truth again and again. When you have a deep desire, it is not random. It is not a cruel joke. It is a hint, a preview, a trailer of something that already exists in the unseen. Your desire is a memory from the future. That is why it feels so right when you imagine it clearly. That is why, when you let yourself really feel it, you sense peace, joy, and alignment. You are not making it up. You are remembering it. Listen to these words. Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you've received it, and it will be yours. Notice the tense. Not believe that you will receive it someday, but believe that you have received it. That is the paradox of time. You are invited to stand in the end result first, to feel the wish fulfilled now, and then watch the outer world rearrange itself to reflect what you already accepted within. The outer world is slow. The inner world is instant. When you shift within, the change is immediate in the realm where time does not exist. The physical world then plays catch-up. Think of a radio. Many stations are already filling the room with music, but you hear only the one to which you are tuned. You do not create the station by turning the dial. You simply join what was already broadcasting. Your future is like that. There are many possible stations of your life, many possible versions of you already existing in the timeless realm. When you choose a desire and begin to feel from it, think from it, speak from it, you are changing the station. You are not forcing the future. You are tuning to the version of you who already lives that reality. You may say, but look at my life right now. Look at my bank account, my health, my relationships. How can you say the future is already done when what I see is lack and struggle? That is the trap of the illusion. The present physical picture is nothing more than a delayed photograph of your past inner states. You are looking at an old printout. When you stare at it, complain about it, talk about it, fear it, you simply keep feeding the same state, and the same kind of future appears again and again. But the moment you dare to feel differently about yourself, even while the picture looks the same, you have already stepped into a different future. Think of a person who used to see themselves as a victim. Nothing ever worked for them. People hurt them. Life seemed unfair. Then one day, in a quiet moment, they decided, I am not a victim. I am chosen. I am loved. I am guided. They began to imagine themselves confident, peaceful, and provided for. At first, nothing outside changed, but inside, everything changed. They walked differently. They spoke differently. They prayed differently. They started blessing their day before it began, assuming that good was already lined up for them. And slowly, like shadows shifting at sunset, their outer world began to match the new inner world. New opportunities appeared. People treated them differently. Was this magic? No. It was a different state of consciousness drawing a different future out of the unseen. There is a beautiful promise that says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Notice again the paradox. Faith is substance. Faith is evidence. Faith is not hoping someday will be better. It is standing in the finished reality now. When you close your eyes and imagine the life you want as if it is already yours, and you feel grateful, relieved, and secure, that feeling is your evidence. It is your inner proof that, beyond time, this already exists. You do not wait to feel that way until the outer world changes. You feel that way to allow the outer world to change. So how do you live inside this paradox of time in a practical, simple way? Start by accepting a radical idea. Your imagination is not childish fantasy, it is sacred. It is your inner workshop where realities are selected. When you imagine something with feeling, you are, in truth, visiting that future. Give yourself permission each day to step into the end. See yourself as the person you long to be. Hear the words people would say to you then. Feel the relief of the problem already solved, the bill already paid, the body already healed, the relationship already restored. Do not imagine the process. Imagine the done deal. Then rest in that feeling for a while as if you have just returned home. At first, your mind may fight you. It may say, "This is silly, look at what is." Be realistic. But remember, what you see is not the full story. Being realistic in the old way kept you tied to the same pattern. You are not denying facts. You are choosing which facts will rule you. You acknowledge the current picture, but you refuse to worship it. Instead, you quietly honor the reality within you that is more true, more lasting, more powerful than anything your senses can report. You are learning to walk by inner sight, not by outer sight. When fear comes, because it will, do not panic. Fear is only a sign that you are looking again at the old picture and believing it more than the unseen one. Gently turn your attention back inward. Remind yourself, the future I desire already exists. I am joining it now in my imagination. I am not begging, I am accepting. You can even speak to your own heart, be still. It is already done. This is not pretending, this is aligning. You are choosing which world to agree with, the visible snapshot or the invisible finished work. Consider a simple example. Suppose you desire a new job that fits your gifts and supports you well. Instead of saying, "One day I hope I find it," you enter the future now. Close your eyes and see yourself coming home from your first day at that job. Feel the tired but happy satisfaction. Hear yourself say, "Today was wonderful. This is exactly where I am meant to be." Imagine the details of the space, the feeling of respect, the sense of security. When you open your eyes, you may still be in your old job, but something within has shifted. From that new state, you might be led to send an email, make a call, or notice an opportunity you would have missed before. The outer steps appear naturally once the inner end is accepted. This is how you cooperate with the paradox of time. You stop chasing the future as if it is running away from you. You stop saying, "When it happens, then I will feel different." Instead, you dare to feel different now, in advance, as if you have already walked into that future and returned with the memory of it. Each time you do this, you are planting the seeds of a new timeline. You are choosing a new station on the radio of life. And through it all, remember this, you are deeply loved. You are not playing this game of time alone. The same power that shaped galaxies listens to the quiet movement of your heart. When you accept the end as done, when you relax into the feeling of it already being so, you are saying yes to what has been prepared for you from the foundation of the world. You are not trying to force life. You are letting life reveal what has always been yours. Today, let your mind rest from worry, even if just for a few moments. Step into the version of you who has already crossed the finish line. Feel their peace, feel their joy, feel their gratitude. Then carry a little of that feeling into your day. Speak as if good is on its way, because in truth it is not on its way at all. It already is. You are simply moving through the hallway of time toward the room that has been ready for you all along. Sometimes it helps to picture time like a movie reel. All the scenes of the film already exist on the strip. The opening scene, the middle, the ending where everything comes together, all of it is already there. But the projector moves frame by frame, and you experience those scenes in order. If you pause the movie in the middle, you might think this is all there is, this tense moment. But if you could hold the whole reel in your hand, you would see that the happy ending is already part of the film. It is not being created later, it already exists. Your life is like that. From the higher view, the whole story exists. The moments of tears and the moments of laughter, the confusion and the clarity, the wandering and the homecoming. When you feel a deep, honest desire in your heart, it is as if you are catching a glimpse of a scene that already lies ahead on your reel. You are not begging for that scene to be added. You are being invited to agree with it, to say yes to it, to step into it inwardly so it can unfold outwardly. There is a promise that says you can call things that are not seen as though they already are. That is the language of faith. You do not wait until it shows up to talk about it as real. You talk and feel and think as if it is already a part of you. Not in a forced way, not with tense effort, but with a quiet inner knowing. The way you speak about the sunrise even while it is still dark, because you know it is coming. You might practice this by having little inner conversations with your future self. Imagine the version of you who has already received what you now long for. See their face, Feel their calm. Notice how they stand, how they breathe, how they look at you. Then in your mind, let them talk to you. Hear them say, "It worked out. You are safe. You made it through. You are provided for. You are loved more than you can understand." Let their words wash over you until you begin to feel what they feel. In that moment, you are not just imagining, you are blending with that future state. You are joining it. There is a gentle line that says, "Do not worry about tomorrow, because each day has enough of its own." Worry comes when you keep imagining a future where you are alone, unsupported, and without answers. Faith comes when you imagine a future where love has already gone ahead of you and arranged what you need. You always have a choice of which future you visit in your mind. One future leaves you tight and afraid. The other future leaves you peaceful and expectant. Only one of those feels like truth in your body. That is your sign. Think of someone who received a difficult diagnosis. At first, it felt like a wall, like life had suddenly shrunk into fear and questions. But then, in the quietness of their heart, they began to see another version of themselves. They would lie down, close their eyes, and see their body whole, strong, and renewed. They saw themselves doing simple things with ease again. Walking, laughing, living. They whispered to themselves, "Thank you that I am already healed in the unseen and my body is catching up." Day after day they visited that inner place. The medical process, the treatments, the help from others all played their part, but something else was happening too. They had stepped into a timeline where healing was real, and their outer life slowly began to echo that inner decision. This does not mean you blame yourself if things are hard. It does not mean you are a failure if fear still shows up. It means you are powerful, and you are learning how to aim that power. You may not control every event, but you do have a say in how you stand within those events. And the way you stand within them shapes which branch of the future opens under your feet. Another beautiful gift you have is the ability to revisit the past differently. You might think the past is fixed, but in one very important way it is not. You cannot change what happened, but you can change what you carry from it. When you go back in your imagination to a painful memory and give your younger self the comfort, understanding, and love they did not receive, then you are rewriting the meaning of that moment. You are saying, "I was never alone. I was always loved even when I could not feel it." This new understanding reaches forward into your present and into your future. It softens your reactions, opens your heart, and makes it easier to accept good. A revised past leads to a gentler future. You might try this at night because the moments before sleep are holy and soft. Your mind is relaxed and the door between the seen and unseen feels thinner. As you lie down, instead of replaying worries, choose to replay the future you desire as though you are remembering it. See it in little scenes. A simple scene of you laughing with someone you love. A simple scene of you looking at a paid bill with a quiet smile. A simple scene of you waking up in the morning with a sense of purpose. Let those scenes be short and real. Feel the emotions that would go with them, then fall asleep in that feeling. You are handing your future to a loving power that knows exactly how to arrange the details. When you wake up, you may still see the same outer conditions, but something gentle has shifted. You may feel a little lighter, a little more hopeful. Do not dismiss that. That is the new timeline beginning to breathe. Move through your day with the attitude, "My unseen good is already done, and I am walking into it." When something tries to pull you back into fear, you can quietly say inside, "This is not my final picture. My reel does not end here. There is more filmed for me, and it is good." You might notice that as you live this way, small signs appear. A kind word from a stranger, an unexpected message, a little opening where there used to be only a wall. These are like gentle whispers saying, "Keep going. You're aligned." Do not make the signs your God. They are just indicators. The real shift is happening inside you, and that is where your true power lives. There is a simple line that says, "Ask, and it will be given. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will open." Asking is not just words. Asking is the state you occupy. When you dwell in the feeling of already having, you are asking in the most powerful way. When you seek inwardly, looking to the unseen rather than only to what your eyes show you, you are truly seeking. When you keep knocking on the door of the end result in your imagination, returning to it again and again with love and trust, the door does not stay shut. This is why it is so important to treat yourself kindly in this process. Shift from trying to make something happen to allowing what is already yours to surface. When you feel tense and desperate, You are telling yourself that the good you desire is far away. When you relax and breathe and say, "It is already mine in the unseen," you are letting your heart catch up with the truth. You are saying yes instead of begging. The more often you visit that inner end, the more normal it feels. At first, imagining a peaceful, joyful, abundant version of yourself may feel strange or fake. But as you keep returning, it begins to feel familiar, like a home you have been away from for a long time. When that happens, the balance tips. It becomes harder to believe in constant struggle than in quiet support. It becomes more natural to expect help than to expect disappointment. At that point, your future is not just something you think about, it is something you are quietly wearing from the inside out. You can even bring this into very small moments. Standing in line at a store, sitting on a bus, taking a shower, lying on your bed, you can gently shift into the feeling of your desired end. You do not need hours, you need sincerity. A few heartfelt breaths in the feeling of already being answered are far more powerful than long sessions filled with strain. Let it be simple. Let it be soft. Let it be like talking with a loving friend who already knows how your story turns out. And as you keep doing this, you may find that your relationship with time itself changes. You are no longer chasing tomorrow in fear. You meet each day as a place where more of what is already true about you can unfold. You stop asking, "How long will it take?" and begin to ask, "Who am I choosing to be right now?" Because from that choice, the next scene of your life quietly rises to meet you, shaped by the unseen yes you have already spoken in your heart. When you start to see yourself this way, something gentle shifts in how you see other people too. You realize they are also living inside their own states, acting from what they believe about themselves and life. Just as you once acted from fear, lack, or unworthiness, they may be doing the same. Instead of judging them so quickly, you can pause and say within yourself, they are more than this moment. There is a higher version of them too. You can even practice seeing them as already changed. If someone in your life is difficult, instead of replaying arguments in your mind, imagine a new scene. See them calm, kind, understanding. Hear them speak words of love and respect. Feel the relief of harmony between you. Stay with that feeling until it softens your heart. In that moment, you are stepping into a future where your relationship is healed. You are no longer trapped by what happened yesterday. You are letting a new possibility move toward you. There is a quiet line that says, love never fails. That love is not just a feeling, it is a way of seeing. It looks past the surface to the truth of what someone can be. When you let this love guide your imagination, you are no longer feeding the future with worry and resentment. You are feeding it with mercy and hope. And because inner states must express themselves, that mercy and hope return to you in ways you may not expect. You might try this with yourself first. If you have felt disappointed in your own choices, if you have called yourself names or held on to shame, pause for a moment. Bring to mind a version of you who has already forgiven themselves, who has learned, grown, and moved forward. See their eyes, clear and kind. Feel their posture, open instead of closed. Hear them say to you, I understand. I love you. You did the best you could with what you knew then, and now you know more. Let those words settle into old places of hurt inside you. From the point of view of time, you are moving from past to future. But from the point of view of this deeper love, all of you is held at once. The you who fell, the you who stood up again, the you who will help others stand. When you let that love touch each version of you in your imagination, you are weaving a new story through all of them. The shame that once seemed fixed begins to loosen. The future that once looked dark begins to glow with possibility. You do not have to understand how all of this works. You only have to be willing to taste it. A child does not understand the science of a seed growing into a tree, but they can still plant it. In the same way, you do not need to grasp every detail of how time bends around consciousness. You only need to plant the seed of the end in your inner garden, water it with feeling, and protect it from constant digging up. Let it grow in the unseen, trusting that life knows how to bring it into form. When your mind wants to measure and control, gently bring it back to something simple and true. What am I assuming about myself right now? If you catch yourself assuming, nothing ever works out for me, do not scold yourself. Just notice it and choose again. You can say, no, I drop that. I assume now that I am guided, that good is unfolding for me, even if I cannot see it yet. Then breathe and feel what that new assumption does inside your body. As you walk, as you cook, as you work, you can keep returning to this question. If my future is already held in love, how would I stand in this moment? Maybe your shoulders lift a bit. Maybe your breath deepens. Maybe your face softens into a small smile. These tiny shifts are not small at all. They are signs that you are tuning into a different station, one where fear is not the loudest voice. Sometimes you will feel this clearly. Other times you may feel numb or tired. That is all right. There is no race. On those days it may be enough to simply say, I do not see it yet, but I trust that there is a good end written for me. Even that quiet, tired trust is powerful. It is like holding onto the string of a kite you cannot quite see in the clouds. The connection is still there. You might find it comforting to know that even your longing is sacred. The very fact that you can imagine a more loving, free, joyful version of your life means that somewhere beyond the limits of time, that version already shines. You are feeling its pull like a distant melody. You are not wrong to desire it. You are not greedy or foolish. You are being drawn home. When old patterns show up, instead of saying, here we go again, nothing has changed, try saying, here is another chance to choose differently. The same scene can appear, but you can stand in it from a new state. You can answer softly instead of sharply. You can breathe before reacting. You can bless instead of curse. Every time you do this, you are proving to yourself that you are no longer bound to the old timeline. You are visiting it, but you are not living in it anymore. Think of your day as a string of small doorways. Each thought, each reaction, each inner picture is a door to one future or another. You don't have to walk through every door that appears. You can stand still for a moment and ask, does this thought lead me toward the future I desire or away from it? If it leads away, you can let it pass like a cloud and gently turn toward a different thought, a kinder inner picture. This is not denial. It is stewardship of your inner world. Little by little, this way of living becomes more natural. You begin to feel less like a victim of time and more like a loving witness, watching as already finished scenes unfold before you. You move through them with more grace because you are not afraid that a bad scene means a bad ending. You already carry the ending in your heart, and that ending is good. And in quiet moments, whether you are sitting in a chair, looking out a window, or lying in bed before sleep, you can return once more to the simple practice. Feel for just a few breaths that your deepest wish is already fulfilled. Let your nervous system taste the safety of that. Let your mind rest in the certainty of that. Let your heart relax into the warmth of that. Then, without forcing anything, step back into your day and let life meet you there. There will be days when this feels easier and days when it feels almost impossible. On the hard days, when your mind is loud and your heart feels heavy, remember that you are allowed to start very small. You do not have to feel completely certain. You can begin with something as gentle as, I am open to the idea that my future is kinder than my past. Even that tiny opening lets light in. You might look around at your current circumstances and think, I do not see any proof that things are changing. But the deepest movements often happen before any sign appears on the surface. A seed in the ground does not look like a tree. In fact, if you were to dig it up every day to check on it, you would destroy it. So it is with your inner work. You plant the end in imagination, you water it with feeling and trust, and then you let it be. You do not need to keep digging it up with doubt. When doubt comes, as it will, you can treat it like a passing visitor instead of a permanent house guest. You might say within yourself, I hear you, doubt. You are only repeating old stories, but I am choosing something new now. Then gently turn your mind back to the wish fulfilled. See even a quick flash of your desired end, like a snapshot in your heart. That small act is powerful because it shows you are no longer worshiping fear as the final truth. There is a line that says, do not throw away your confidence, it has great reward. Confidence here is not loud boasting. It is that quiet inner stance that says, even if I do not see it yet, I will not talk against my own future. I will not curse my own path with my words. Your speech carries creative power. When you speak of your life as blessed, guided, and held, you are directing that power toward a future that reflects those words. When you constantly speak of being unlucky, forgotten, or cursed, you are directing it the other way. You can start to listen to your own words, as if you are listening to someone you love. If you heard a dear friend say, nothing ever works for me, I will always struggle, your heart would ache for them. You would want to hold their hand and say, "Please don't speak about yourself that way. There is more for you." Offer that same care to yourself. Catch the harsh sentences and gently replace them with kinder ones. Not fake positivity, but loving truth. I am learning. I am growing. Good is unfolding for me in ways I cannot yet see. This way of seeing time changes how you handle waiting too. Waiting used to feel like punishment, like an empty hallway with no doors. But when you realize the end is already written in your favor, waiting becomes more like walking through a corridor where things are quietly being arranged for you. You may not hear every conversation being had on your behalf, every decision shifting in your favor, every detail moving into place, but you can walk with the feeling that something is working for you behind the scenes. Sometimes waiting is not about the outer thing at all. It is about who you become in the process. The future you desire often asks for a version of you who can hold it, enjoy it, and not sabotage it. So the journey shapes you. It stretches your trust, deepens your compassion, softens your edges, clarifies what you truly value. Then, when the outer answer arrives, you are not the same person who first asked for it. You are stronger, softer, wiser, more yourself. There is a quiet promise that says, "You will reap in due season if you do not faint." The season is not always the one you would pick on a calendar, but it is real. And not fainting does not mean never feeling tired or discouraged. It means you do not give up on your inner end. You might cry, rest, and even feel lost at times, but you keep a little ember of trust alive. Somehow, some way, this is working toward good. You can also bring this understanding into the smallest choices of your day. For example, if you are choosing between two options and fear is shouting, "If you pick wrong, you will ruin everything," pause. Remember that your future is not hanging by a single thread. You are not fragile. You are held. From that remembrance, ask yourself, which choice aligns more with the version of me who is peaceful, provided for, and loved? Even if you are not completely sure, lean in that direction. You are moving in harmony with your chosen end. As you practice this, you may notice that your sense of identity begins to shift. You no longer see yourself as someone trying to drag a heavy future into place by sheer effort. You begin to see yourself as someone who already is in the unseen, whole and complete, and who is simply allowing that wholeness to show itself bit by bit in time. Your affirmations, your imaginations, your prayers, your choices, all of these become ways of agreeing with what is already true about you at the deepest level. From that place, other people's opinions lose some of their power. If someone cannot see your potential or laughs at your dreams, it hurts less because you know they are only looking at a single frame in your movie. They do not hold the real. They do not know what has been prepared for you. You can bless them, release their words, and keep walking with your inner knowing. Even your own past no longer has the same grip. Memories that once defined you begin to look different in the light of this larger story. You can see that the times you felt forgotten were often the times you were being quietly prepared. The doors that closed pushed you toward better ones. The people who left made space for those who would truly cherish you. It does not erase the pain, but it gives it a context, a place and a pattern that ultimately bends toward your good. In this way, the paradox of time becomes a comfort instead of a confusion. Yes, you move through days and years. You watch the clock. You mark dates on your calendar. But beneath all of that, there is a deeper rhythm where everything you are meant to be and experience already exists in seed form. Your job is to agree with it, to water it with your attention, to refuse to speak against it, and to walk through your days as someone who is moving toward a loving unfolding, not a random fate. And if in some quiet moment you close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and feel, even for a breath, that you are already loved, already seen, already held by a future that welcomes you, then in that moment you are tasting the truth behind the illusion of time. You are standing where the end and the beginning meet, and from there every next step becomes just a little lighter. So here you are, standing in this single precious moment between what your eyes see and what your heart knows. You are not small. You are not late. You are not behind. The future you ache for is not out there somewhere, running away from you. It is already held, already complete, already shining in the unseen. Every time you dare to feel the wish fulfilled, even for a breath, you are stepping into that finished story. You are proving that time does not rule you, The state you choose within you does. There is a promise that says, before you call, the answer is given. Let that settle deep into you. Before the tear, there was comfort. Before the question, there was wisdom. Before the hunger, there was provision. Your part is not to strain and chase and beg. Your part is to agree, to say with your inner being, yes, this good is mine. Yes, I accept the end is already done. You walk through your days with bills to pay and bodies to care for and people to love. But beneath it all runs a quiet knowing, my steps are ordered, and I am moving through time toward what already belongs to me. So take a gentle breath right now. Place a hand on your heart if you like. And for just a moment, feel that your deepest desire is already answered in the unseen. Feel the relief of it, the safety of it, the joy of it. Let that feeling be your new home. From this day, speak of your life as guided. Expect doors to open. Expect peace to rise where fear once ruled. When doubt comes, remember, the real is already written, and the ending bends toward your good. The future has already happened in the invisible now. With every loving assumption, every faithful feeling, every brave little yes, you are simply walking into it.